This is the type of card that I'm making today. It's a Wreath card and it's got an on-off switch because there is an LED behind here, so it will light up. On this card I've actually put an easel back instead of a traditional card shape. I figured you can still write your greeting on the back of there or underneath there, and it provides a nice rest for it to go on a shelf. So first step is the circuit, and I've got it marked out here in pencil. It's actually in the file, so you can literally follow along on the file itself, but I've marked it in pencil simply so that you've got some chance of being able to see it on camera. Now I want to start off by putting a little bit of double-sided tape over the area where the battery is going to go. Now the reason for this is quite simple. You want the battery to stay put, and it's the easiest way of doing it. So I want to actually thread my copper tape through this slit because it's going to form the actual switch or part of the switch. And so in order to do that easily, I'm going to take about 1 inch of tape and double it over on itself. Pull it through straight as you can, just take that bit down, and now you can go along and do the circuit. So fold that way, fold that way, and I want to go over this cross. I've marked out where my light bulb needs to go, so I'm going to go over that cross like that before taking it to underneath where the battery is going to be, like that. There we are. Now take a bone folder and press it down really well. You want a nice strong contact, and a bone folder does a great job of this, and do the same on that side as well. So that's the first bit down, and then we can put the battery on. And it goes with the positive side up. And then we want another piece of tape, so I need to cut a thinner piece again. Take a bit off there, fold it over again. I don't know why it's so difficult to fold this tape, it's ridiculous. There we go. Now this one goes down through the hole. Pull back, oops, so you have some sticky area at the back of the card, and again stick it down. Bring it around the front of the card, pull it away from the other piece of tape there, and then you can complete your circuit. This needs to be bent again. And then that's going to go on top of my battery. Now I like, because I don't trust the tape to be conductive, or the adhesive to be conductive, I like to double it over again. And then it's got copper directly on the top of the battery. And again, press this down firmly. Press it down firmly at the back. You can take off any excess there. I can take off that little bit of excess as well. There we go. Now you may be thinking, where's the light? So what I do now is I take a sharp knife, hopefully I've not made too big a gap, because I've just cut 3 lines instead of 2. That would be typical actually for me today. Virtually everything has been going wrong. And lift up. little bit of tape from the middle. So I've literally broken a circuit. It's broken down there anyway, but I have broken it there. So there is a gap. Now, this is my little LED, and I happen to know which is the positive and which is the negative on this. And I know which way I have to put it around because I know which is the positive and the negative. So if I just slot that little LED over the top there and take a piece of tape, it should hopefully light up. There we go. If that's pressed onto there, it's going to light up. So since I know it works, I can put a little piece of sticky tape over the top, and that will keep it nicely connected. So when I do this, there we go, all working nicely. Also means I can put a little bit of tape over my copper tape on the battery, so nothing is going to move. And what I need to do now is to put some foam tape around here and to make my switch. When I've done that, I can complete any extra decoration that I want to do on the front of my card, and then I can assemble. So first off, I'm going to make my switch, and it's quite easy to do. The file contains this piece here, which is a folded concertina style, like so. There we go. Then you unfold it and you put a piece of tape down the middle. So that's it on one side. And on the other side, you want to put some copper tape, but you want to put it on once you've actually folded it up, because you don't want any stress put on the copper tape. So let's take this and just start doing concertina. It comes out, whoops, that's not supposed to join to that bit, thank you. It ends up looking a bit like star anise, like that. Okay, so once that's done, you can put your tape on. Now you want to put the tape on either that side or that side. It doesn't make any difference at the moment which one particularly, but you want to have one of your little edges here to be the one that stands up on the front of the card. So front of the card, you see, has got this tab on it, and you want one of those dedicated for that. And that one you obviously do not want to put any of the copper tape on. So first off, whoops, there we go. So start off on there. This side isn't going to connect with anything, that particular bit, but you know, it's a good starting off point. And then you just open it up and go round until you get to the end of this side here, and you can just tear that off or cut it with scissors, it's up to you. There we go, that bit's done. So what's going to happen is that's going to be the bit that you slide across, and these two areas here are going to contact with the circuit. So that's what it does. Now, in order to get it to work, what you need to do is to put it through the hole. 2 pieces, look, go through to the back. Oh, you need to make sure the copper is on the correct side. I want it to contact there, so it needs to be on the right hand side. So put that through there. And then at the back you open it up, like that. And at the front you open it up. And now when I slide this over there, it makes contact and it makes the light go on. So a very simple form of switch. But because it has that on the back as well as on the front, it's a better contact generally than the ones which just work on the front only. So when you're putting the self-adhesive foam around the edge, you want to make sure that you are not going to risk impeding on that at all. Now, one thing that is worth noting, if your card, like the one that I'm making at the moment, is quite thin, light can go through the card itself and show at the front. So whereas normally I would be tempted to crisscross this with some extra foam pieces, I'm not going to, because I know that with this card it's going to show on the front if I do that, and I don't want to ruin the look of the front. If you are bothered about that and you want to make sure it doesn't show through, then I suggest cutting a duplicate with black paper. Stick it onto the front, not the back. Stick it onto the front before you put it together. And then that will stop the light from going through the card, apart from the areas which have got holes on. Now in this particular case I've got holes in the berries, in the baubles. You don't have to have the holes. One of the versions in the file has got holes in and one has not. So basically I just need to assemble that like that and then put a back on it. I'm going to do some work on this first, and I'm going to stick it down off of camera, because the last time I tried doing it on camera I didn't get it centered, because that's the way it works if I don't have my head directly over the top. Here are the 2 finished cards. This is the one that simply has an easel back, and this one I have put on a card base which is ever so slightly larger than the front panel here. All I've done apart from that is added a few little stars to make it twinkle, and I think it's a very pretty card for Christmas. And obviously if you want to, you can use the same method to do various different designs. It's very simple to do the electronics once you get used to it. Thanks for watching, take care now, bye bye.